Hi everybody, my name is Yilin and I'm a junior in stat and computer science. So I've been working with Dr. David LeBauer on BettyDB. So you've probably already heard of BettyDB from Emily and Zare. So Emily was working on mainly data entry and quality assurance, and Zare on machine learning. And my work was mainly centered on the web interface and the API. So the web interface is located at bettydb.org. You can take a look on your laptops if you want. And so what my objective was to make the web interface easier to use for both researchers and developers as well. So for researchers, one thing they can do is that they can contribute to our database by submitting new entries through the web interface. So they would get some kind of a form and they could fill in different fields for maybe a certain plant trait or something, and then they can submit it to our database. So one important thing during this process is that we have to preserve data integrity. So we got to make sure that false or like erroneous data doesn't get entered into our database and cause further confusion when somebody tries to retrieve the data, right? So for example, we have a variable in our database named leaf area. So if somebody tries to enter a negative value for that field, that clearly doesn't make sense, right? But previously, there wasn't such kind of checking at the background. So like the data would not get inserted, but the user would not get notified either. So the web interface would just tell the user that the data was successfully entered. In reality, it wasn't. So what I did was that I wrote code on the back end to check against every database constraint to make sure that, and to make sure the user gets notified about every error. So the work itself was not very sophisticated or like really hard implementation-wise, but we really had to think from a user's perspective to like predict what kind of errors the user might make and then generate meaningful error messages so that the user would get sufficient information on how to make corrections to his or her data. And another thing I did was to implement a mechanism for a user to submit a feedback. So if you go to that website right now, you can see a little tab that says feedback on the side of the page. So I know there are some companies that provide such services, but we don't really need something that complicated, and we don't want to pay money for that. So I just implemented that myself. And so the benefits of that is that if you encounter a problem on the page you're working on, you don't have to navigate to another page to like submit a feedback. You can just click on it. It's gonna give you a pop-up window, and you can submit a bug report to the admin so that we could deal with that. And then the next thing and you all for this amazing opportunity. Thank you. Any questions? All right, thank you.